Interestingly, as I was, growing older and so forth, the only thing that I did was push through it. Like I would push through it and it would be awful. Like it would be awful, but I would push through it because the thought of not doing the thing that scared me, of not doing that, was far more painful than let me just go for it. So in that way, I think that in a weird, obviously then that builds your self-trust. Then that builds your, oh, cool, look, I could do that. Like, actually, I'm far stronger than what I thought I was. I'm far more capable. Actually, I read a really good book on anxiety and, quote, kind of paraphrasing what was said, but it was, people with anxiety tend to think that they're not very strong, but actually they are incredibly strong because they're sitting and working with this feeling so often in their day, and they're still going through it and doing really difficult things, but that feeling is still there. The conversation I often have with parents today is one I can so relate to it. I think one of the biggest things that I've struggled with as well is speaking up, is pushing back on boundaries, and just because somebody in a suit who's an authority tells you to do something doesn't necessarily mean you need to listen to them. We've been taught to listen, but do you know what I mean? It's like, I do feel like there's such a big disservice we're doing with our children in terms of do as I say because I say so, listen to these rules, because we're not teaching them the skills to be assertive, to think for themselves, to speak up for themselves. And I was always too scared to do that. Parenting has changed, and for many of us, I don't know if you can relate, but it was very much of a strict authoritarian style of parenting that was fear-based. And me being a people pleaser, I just hated having my parents upset with me, but it was, I'm making this up, they were lovely parents. It wasn't, I wasn't beat or anything like that. It was just, but there was a lot of very strict, very you do as I say. And my personality style, I would get quite scared with that, whereas like maybe somebody else, my sister, just, well, the stricter you are, the more I'm going to, push back. But it all comes down to temperament styles as well. And Mel Robbins actually spoke about this in one of her podcasts with Dr. Russell Kennedy that speaks a lot about anxiety, and anxiety actually being your younger self now that is seeking your attention.
This episode will go live this coming Monday. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at AVL Podcast. Please like, rate and review the podcast so other people can also hear these stories.